And this is the finished look, y'all. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Mariah. Thank you so much for coming and kicking it with me today. For my friends who are returning, thank you so much. Always good to see you. I'm sure as you can tell by the title, you know what we're about to get into. I am about to do my makeup for a concert that I have to attend for work this evening. And I always get questions on how I do my makeup. So I figured I would record it and show you how I do it. First things first, I am not a makeup artist. I am not a professional by any means. I do what works for me. Another thing, please excuse the stuffiness. It's like round 2 of allergy season here in New Orleans. So if I sound stuffy, please try to work past it. But yes, let's get into it. So I'm gonna put on my handy dandy headband here. I have nothing on my face right now. This is just solely from skincare, and let's get into it. For primer, I'm going to use my One Size Secure the Sweat primer. I don't use a lot of this because I'm not doing like a super, oh my God, why is it literally just exploded out of the tube. I'm trying to keep my finger over it to save it. Why would you do that? That's insane. Okay. I usually don't use a lot of this, but I'm going to use everything that just exploded out of the tube because I don't want to waste it. It's so much. All right, I can't use all of this, but I just use my fingers to spread it over my face, also with like a pressing motion so it can really get into the skin. And I put this all over my face. And I do this step first and then go into my eyebrows so that while I'm doing my eyebrows, this has a chance to like set and really seep in. Before I start my eyebrows, I just dab them with a little bit of my setting powder to try to get rid of some of the oil. I use Laura Mercier's Translucent Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent Medium Deep. So I just dab a little bit, get the excess off on my hand, and just go over the brows to dry them out a little bit. For my eyebrows, I go in with my Maybeline XPress Brow pencil in the shade, what shade is this? Deep brown. So with pencils, I would not recommend pressing hard because that's how you get those really sharp looking brows, and that's not the look that we're going for. So I do like light strokes, very light. I don't want to press too hard to get those harsh lines. And I just go over the outline of my brow. My eyebrows are on the thinner side, so I do take my time to try to fill everything in to where it still looks natural and not anything harsh or crazy. And it's okay if it doesn't look perfect once you filled it in with the pencil because we're gonna clean it up with concealer. But the point of this is just to outline your brow. I also need to pluck my eyebrows because we have a few straggly hairs, but that's okay. We will cover that up when we conceal. And if you notice towards the front of my brow, I'm doing like marks up and down versus like sideways, just to try to get that natural hair look up front. And it's not gonna look 100% natural because I think I need a different product that can make more defined hair-like strokes. But like I said, we do what works for us and we keep it pushing. Okay, my eyebrows look crazy right now, but that is okay because we're about to clean it up. Another disclaimer, all of my brushes are dirt old. I should probably go and get some new brushes, but like I said, we do what works for us. But I'm sure the better quality of the brushes, the more better your makeup will come out, but I just use what I have. So I'm going to conceal under my brow with my Born This Way Too Faced concealer, and I use the shade Butterscotch. And this is also the shade that I use under my eye. But, ooh. So I'm just going to clean up underneath my brow to get that super defined look. Okay, underneath the brows are cleaned up, and I just use a little paper towel to like, oops. I just use a little paper towel to clean off the excess. And now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my foundation to carve out the top. You can use concealer or foundation. I just like to use my foundation because since foundation is going up there anyway, why not? So now we're just gonna carve out the top of the brow. And doing a color to carve out the top of your brow that's closer to your skin tone will help so that you don't get like that halo effect using like a brighter concealer. So that way it blends more seamlessly. Now that we have the top and bottom of our brow carved out, I'm going to go in with my handy dandy beauty blender, which is not clean, so please excuse. And I'm going to spray it with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. With this, you can use anything. I've also used my Mario Badescu facial spray, but I'm out of my facial spray, so I'm just using my setting spray to blend this out. Your concealer and your foundation will blend out much better if your sponge is damp versus when it is dry. So we're just gonna blend this out. Now, sometimes with this process, you may like mess up your brow, like if you're blending and you rub it accidentally, that's okay. I do it all the time, but I just go back in with my pencil to re-outline my brow where I like accidentally took some of the product off. All right, so the eyebrows are done. Now we're gonna go into the eyes. I am a girly that keeps it very simple on the eye. Because I have a hooded eyelid, I haven't really mastered the art of eyeshadow, so I just keep it to like 1 or 2 colors, but today I'm just gonna do 1. I'm gonna go in with my Too Faced concealer in the Butterscotch shade and just dab a little bit on my eyelids. Let that dry down a little bit. And I'm gonna go in with my same beauty blender to dab this out all around my lid. And you can even go up to your brow, and it's okay because you use that same color to carve out the bottom, so it'll all be the same shade. Okay, we are nice and blended. And I go in with my Laura Mercier powder, setting powder in the medium deep, same one that we used on our brows. And I'm gonna use my triangle puff, dab a little bit in there, dab off the excess on my hand, and press that over my eyelid to set the concealer. Like I said, I keep it super simple with the eyes. So I use my NARS bronzer, and this is in the shade Laguna 06. And I just use this bronzer literally all over my lid, just so that there's some color there. Now you don't have to go all the way up to your eyebrow for this, but you just follow the natural curve of your eye. And just make sure it is all covered evenly with the bronzer. Okay, so this is what the eyes look like. I know we're looking crazy, but as they say, trust the process. We gotta get through the whole thing for the whole look to come together. For foundation, I use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation in the shade 450. And the instructions say to shake well, so we're gonna shake it well. And this is a medium coverage foundation, so if you want more, then add more. But I start off with 2 pumps. Maybe do a little bit on the forehead, just a little bit. Once again, spraying my brush with my Urban Decay All Nighter spray. And now we're going to blend this out. Now, one thing you may notice about Fenty foundations is that it may be one color once it comes out the bottle, but if you give it a minute to let it oxidize and settle in, then it'll be your shade. So I like to start at the cheeks and go down. I don't like to build up my product right underneath my eye because that's where concealer is gonna go. So no need in having foundation and concealer in the same spot. But you're gonna blend that out all over the face. And now you see what I mean, how it's all one color up top. You don't have like that halo effect from using lighter concealer from carving out the top of your brow. Come down the nose. So this is the coverage we have with just the 2 pumps and the 1 little dot up top, which I'm satisfied with. Like I said, if you want more coverage, then you can do another layer and blend it out, but I'm okay with this. For the concealer, going in with my Born This Way again in Butterscotch. I'm actually running out, like to the point I'm scraping on the sides. That's ridiculous. But I'm going to put some under the eye. Now, if you use Too Faced concealers, you already know this. If you don't, know that this product, you don't have to use a lot. A little goes a very long way, especially when you let it dry down. So I've just learned to use a little, blend it out, and if I need more, then to add more. But I prefer to have too little and add than to have too much and then you trying to like take it back. But a little goes a very long way with this. So I'm just highlighting my under my eyes, top of my lip, my chin, and down the bridge of my nose, which I need to look in the mirror so that I don't have a crooked nose. Okay, just like that. And before I blend this out, I'm going to contour my face. This is the Fenty Beauty Matte Contour Skin Stick in the shade Espresso 05. So I'm going to contour right underneath my cheekbone, bring it down, and I like to do like this little swoop up motion to really like snatch the cheek. And we're going to highlight around the forehead. And carve out the chin. So to give some time for the concealer to set, I blend out the contour first. So here is my contour brush. I'm holding it this way. It is so dirty. I don't even know why I decided to do this video with all of my brushes so dirty, but it's okay. Ah! So again, spraying my all-nighter spray, I'm going to blend out the concealer. And I blend in an upward motion, like towards my cheek instead of blending down, to really define that cheek. I hope you can tell. And we're gonna go around the hairline. And the other cheek. And the chin. Now, I do not do this process on my nose. I know that there are some makeup artists who do. For me, it comes out just a tad too harsh for my liking. So I'm gonna do something different to carve out my nose. But as far as the cream contour stick, cheekbones, chin, forehead. So now that we finished blending out our contour, we're gonna go in and blend our concealer. Spray our brush. And we're going to just dab, working from the inside of your under eye to the outside. Now you don't wanna go all the way because that's where we just did the contour. If you do, it's okay, like I just did, but you can go back and fix it. But ultimately you wanna concentrate your product right under your eye and above where you did the contour. So not only does doing your contour first allow for your concealer to dry, it helps you like stay in the area where you need to be. It's almost like coloring in the lines. And we just blend that out. I just love the Too Faced concealer because it's just so thick, and a little truly does a lot. And I'll get the chin. If I've put a little too much on the chin, I'll go in with my beauty blender to soften it out and take up some of that product. And I also use my sponge to do my nose so it's a little more precise. And we just dab, going up the bridge of the nose, like that. Because I don't put concealer on my forehead like a lot of folks do, I will just bring it up the bridge of my nose and just dab whatever excess is on the sponge in that area so it's not so concentrated. And I use my sponge to just dab over to make sure everything's even. So this is what we look like now that the concealer's blended out. So next, we're going to set. As the good saying goes, if it's wet, it must be set. I'm going to set my concealer with the One Size setting spray in the shade Sweet Honey. And this is small because this is my travel size, which, if you watched my Barbados vlog, I talked about how, why does my top look like this? Like, it looks so bad. It's not demure, it's not cutesy. But I go in with my powder puff, take up some of the powder, just like we did before, dab the excess off on your hand, and go in and press with the powder. And I like to really press in. This is not a step that I would recommend wiping. Like, you wanna press it in there so it can truly set that concealer. And this will also help with reducing the chance of creasing. All right, gotta dab the other side. All right, dab down the bridge of the nose, get that chin area and under the lip. Now that the concealer is set, I'm going to bronze the contour, and I use the Juvia's Place palette. This is the bronzed dark palette, so you can see which one we use the most. But I just use a round brush, dab in the shade that I like, which is the lighter shade of the two, and I just go up my face, following the natural structure and dabbing this product into the wet contour product. Okay, I'm going to use a smaller like eyeshadowy brush, go in the same color, and softly come down the bridge of my nose to contour. So this is where I use powder instead of using cream, because I just think it's not as harsh. Okay, and we will put a little bit on our contour that we put around our chin. All right, see how it's all coming together? We're almost there. We're almost there. And what I love about this routine is it does not take long. Now I'm going to go in with my next layer of bronzer, back with my NARS Laguna 06. Take a brush, and this we're going to just dab lightly. I don't need a bunch of this. It's just to accentuate what we already have there from the Juvia's Place powder. Okay, that's literally it. For blush, we're also using a Juvia's Place palette. This is the Volume 1 palette. And so you have like a more like purplish color and a coral color. I use the coral color for my blush. And I don't do a lot. I just do a few dabs because I don't like a lot of blush. I know that's like the trend right now, but I'm not on that train. So now I'm going to bring it all together with my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. This is in the shade Toffee, and the number is 65. So I just use a big fluffy brush like this, and I just dab into the powder. And we're gonna cover this area first because this is where we have foundation, but no product has been put there yet. And now we're gonna go all over the face to bring it all together. Okay. This is what the face is looking like. Very soft, like nothing crazy. This is not a full glam look. This is we're going to work. We just needed something slightly elevated. Like this is gonna be the perfect routine for you. I love doing this routine. So now that I'm essentially done putting all the products on my face, I'm going to set it all with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, okay? So we just do light situation like that. Dry it down. I do have a fan that I usually do this with, but I don't feel like getting up to get it. We're gonna let that dry down. Okay. So now that we're nice and dried down, I am going to prep my lashes. Now I like a thicker lash. Now these lashes are old. I've used them more than once. I don't know if you can see them. Oh yeah, if I put it against my white shirt. I like a thicker lash. Now some folks may like to be on the thinner side, and that's okay. I just like it on the thicker side. I'm going to use my Duo glue. I like glues that are black because then it dries black. In my experience, a lot of the either white or clear adhesives, like they dry with a little residue and it's not cute, but at least with the black ones, they dry black. So I'm just going to line my lashes. And when I say prep, like I like to let them sit with the glue on them, maybe for like 2 to 3 minutes for that glue to get really tacky before I put them on. And I like to put a nice thick layer so that it'll last throughout the day. So while the glue is setting, I'm going to put on my eyeliner and mascara. For my eyeliner, I use, what is this? The Revlon Color Stay eyeliner in the color black. Ooh, there we go. It's the Revlon Color Stay. And we're just gonna line the waterline. Don't press too hard on your face here. There's probably a better way to do this, but you know, like I said, we're not a professional. We just make it do what it do. Eyes are lined, and now we're going to use some mascara. I use the Lily Lashes mascara. I'm about to go get me some of that Fenty mascara because I've seen a lot of girls using it, and from what I'm seeing, she's understanding the assignment, so we're gonna go pick that up. But for today's purposes, I'm using the Lily Lashes mascara, and I'm going to line my bottom lashes and my top lashes. And you probably can't see a lot of it because I have very short lashes. So the mascara is on there, I promise. A nice little trick that I like to do before putting on the lashes so that it forms my eye better is I like to like bend it so it can get that curve, because sometimes it's hard to put it on there when they're too straight. All right, and we're gonna sit it on top of our lashes, right along our eyelid. I have found that it's much easier to do this with tweezers versus your fingers, but again, you do what works best for you. If you have tweezers, I would recommend going into the corners and just pressing down just so that the inner corner doesn't lift. All right, so we're gonna bend. I don't know why that made me think of bend and snap. But we're gonna bend, okay? And put this along the eyelid. So our eyelashes are on, they look really good. And now for the lips. I don't do much with the lips, but I do wipe them off to get any product foundation off of it. I use the Juvia's Place liner. This is in the color Cocoa Latte. I typically use the color Cocoa Bean, but I ran out. I'm just gonna line my lip here. Spread it out so that it's not so brown. I don't want it to be so dark because like the Cocoa Latte is slightly darker than the Cocoa Bean. So we're gonna blend that out. And I'm going to top it off with my Juvia's Place lipstick in the shade Lady, which I love this color. And this is the finished look. We'll take this off. And this is the finished look, y'all. Very simple, very quick. I can typically do this in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. I'm sure if you're just starting out, it may take you a little longer, but the more you do it, the more you'll get the hang of it. So this is the look. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching. Friends, if you're not a part of the friend group, I want you to be part of it officially. Please go subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss another video. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Me on the come up, big girl with big dreams and big drip. Talk is cheap.